Welcome to Wells Fargo Podcast. And this podcast title is a continuation from last week, where we talked about the shadows of childhood, the wounds that we carry. And today's episode has been titled "The Parent's Wound When Unhealed Raise the Wounded." If you agree with me, there are wounds we carry that do not bleed. They don't scar the skin, but they shape how we love, how we trust, how we care, and how we ourselves and how we take care of ourselves and trust other people. So, officially, welcome to Shadows of Childhood, a place where we gently pull back the curtain. This part of us still waiting to be heard, still part of us still waiting to be held. I'm so grateful you are here. And today we are stepping into something tender, raw, and rarely talked about, the parent's wound. What do you do with, the ache of growing up with parents who were doing their best, but whose best was filtered through their own unhealed pain? What happens when you are raised by someone who was never raised with warmth, or was taught to fear vulnerability, or whose love came with silence, anger, or conditions? Think about it. And the truth is, unhealed parents often raise wounded children, not because they did not love their children, but because love without healing can still hurt. So let's talk about it. The parent wound is not always something. It's not always something loud. It's very quiet. It actually whispers, "Oh, don't cry. Be strong. Don't be too much. But what I need you to be so I can feel whole." We learn to perform instead of exist, to anticipate instead of express. So to shrink so that we don't trigger, their storms, and we carry that into adulthood, into love, into friendship. It's actually an invisible inheritance which we inherit from wounded parents. So we carry that into, as we're growing into love, and that, if you agree with me, conforms the decisions we make. Now their wounds become our footprint, because our parents did not just give us their gene. Okay, they handed us their survival strategy. They handed us their shame. They handed us their silence, their fear of not being enough. And when no one teaches us the difference, we live by those blueprints we've learned from our parents. Because whether you like it or not, our parents are the first teachers we see when we arrive on planet Earth, until they begin to crumble. Usually, when we are exhausted, anxious, alone, or when we start raising children of our own. But then here comes the turning point. Here's the truth, soft and sacred. You are allowed to grieve the love you did not receive, but you are also allowed to say that that was not okay. Even if they meant so, I want you to understand that grieving is not betrayal. It's actually acknowledging, and acknowledgement is actually the first step of healing. You can love your parents and still choose not to carry their pain any longer. You can love your parents, you can honor their journey, and still rewrite your own. Your life is in your hands. So you choose what you want to do. Do you still want to inherit those trauma? Do you still want to inherit those undeserved parenthood? So what is it? So the healing parent, I've titled it the healing echo. The healing parent wound is not about fixing the past. It's about meeting yourself now with tenderness, with kindness, with meekness, and with love. Because it looks like speaking the words you've never heard: "I'm proud of you, you are enough." You give your inner child what they never got. You give your inner child safety. You give your inner child softness. You give your inner child permission to feel love. You give your inner child the permission to know that yes, you can fail, you can succeed. Yes, you give your inner child that ending cycle that tries to convince you love must be earned. Now, some days healing feels like peace, like Other days it feels like chaos. It's like everything is just bottling up in one in your mind. But I want you to remember that every step you take towards awareness is a step towards freedom. So if you've ever wondered why you're still haunted by a tone of voice, a slammed door, or why the silence in your family speaks so loudly, you are not broken. You are remembering, and remembrance is sacred. You're remembering all the things you've gone through. You're remembering the parents wound. You're remembering what your parents must have done, and now unknowingly to you, you're bringing that to raising your children. So what you have to do, you have to sit down, take time and heal. And I would also recommend therapy. But I want you to remember that everything you've gone through, you can heal from it. All you have to do is speak to that inner child that is within you. Speak to that inner child that wants to listen. Speak to that inner child that is yearning for a good and a better relationship with you now as an adult, with you now as a parent. Because if you are able to break free from this, if you're able to break free from the parent's wound, if you're able to break free, then you would raise children that are trauma free, because the probability of you carrying the wound that you've encountered when growing up with your parents is very high. You want to, like I've said before, unconsciously carry that to your children. So why don't you heal first? Like, I was watching a movie yesterday, I think it's by biology. It's called Ashabi's daughter, and she she was raped by her uncle, and her daughter also got, so she was raped by her uncle, and then she gave birth to a child, and her daughter also got pregnant. Now, because the trauma is still there and the parent did not believe her, so what happened? She thought the pregnancy the daughter was carrying was for her younger brother, sorry, was for her elder brother. And then she blamed the elder brother for sleeping with the child. Now, that is trauma that has been lingering for a very long time, that she hasn't healed, she hasn't talked about, and she has carried that trauma from whatever, from the stage she is, and now implementing it in the life of her daughter and her elder brother. So that is how parents wound work. You begin to see things that you think has happened to you, and then it begins to reflect on your child. So I want you to be gentle with yourself, because be gentle with yourself. Tell yourself you are the circle breaker. You are the healing your lineage has been waiting for. And you can break out of every wound. You can break out of everything. You can be the turning point. And you do not have to inherit whatever wounds your parents have been through. Because the truth is, actually, unhealed parents often raise wounded children. So why don't you do yourself a favor and heal? Heal completely. Take time out and heal. You're not a monster like you think you are. But if you take out time, if you heal and try to forgo the shadows of childhood, try to think about the traumas, try to think about the neglect, try to think about everything you've been through, get a pen and a paper, write them down. And in today's modern world where we've got technology, you could get a recording and record it and play it again, and tell yourself where you've been hurt and that you can grow, and you are not alone. Wellspire Podcast is here for you to grow. Wellspire Podcast is here for you to heal. We talk about the unfiltered truths and nobody will want to talk about. So in this moment, in this time, I want to tell you that when you heal, as a parent or as an aspiring parent or as an adult that wants to adopt a child, you will not raise wounded children. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until I see you next week, have a lovely day. And please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and follow. I love you all. And always remember,